Hello folks, this is a Samsung oven model number FX710BGS/XAA. The problem here is came up with the E08 code again after I changed the temperature sensor. So it was several months, so it lasted for a while, and now it came back on again. So the problem is this igniter, oven igniter, that's the part number DG9400520A. You can get an original Samsung one. It's like $104, or you can go into Amazon or eBay and you can find one a little cheaper. Okay, I recommend that you get the one with the connector, because for the extra $5 or $10 that you're going to save by not getting the one with the connector, and you got to make your own wires and tie them together. Really, is it really worth it? All right, get it with the connector. It's already assembled. Goes on with 2 screws, and I'm going to show you exactly where it is on this oven. All right, it's in the oven door underneath. So you take all your racks off, take all the stuff that you have that's in the oven, and it's underneath this cover. So back there's 2 screws, 1, 2 Phillips screws, and this panel will come off. Lay it right here for now. Then there's 2 screws here, 1, 2, and this panel lifts up and out. There's a piece right there that we're going to change. It has 2 screws in that way. To get this pipe off, there is 1 screw over here, Phillips screws, and there's 1 over there in that corner, over there. All right. So once you take the Phillips screw out, you're going to have to turn it off to the side a little bit and wiggle it out. There you go. All right, and it's gonna come out just like that. This piece here sits into the little gas valve. It just sits in there. It's not secured in there or anything, so when you put it back, you're just gonna line it up back in that hole. Then over here, there's a wire connection right there, okay? Now, 2 ways you can get to this wire connection. You got small enough hands, which is right there. Just squeeze the 2 little tabs and the connector will come out. The other way is to take the little tray that's on the bottom here, that piece, pull that out, and you're going to be able to see the connector. See if I can film it for you. Down there. There's the connector. Okay, let me get a flashlight here for you. There it is. All right, just got to squeeze the 2 little tabs there, and that connector will come out. The connector only goes in one specific way, so you can't mess it up. You're just going to squeeze the 2 tabs on the side, and you're going to pull it out. There it is. Okay, remember I told you the connector only goes one way? See, it's flat on the bottom, and it's round on the top. Looks like a D. I'll hold this way. Looks like a D. All right, so it's going to go the same way. So now I'm going to take this, put it on the bench or the island. Don't tell the wife. And there's 2 Phillips screws there and 1 to replace it. All right. So I go put it on the counter. Hold on. All right. So once it's out, these screws is a nut and bolt assembly. Okay. Comes right out just like that. You see it's all burnt out. Get them off to the side here. See if we can analyze this one over here. Yeah, it's definitely burnt out. Got a lot of heat in there. There's the ceramic coating. The wires are burnt over there a little bit. Other than that, we're going to get rid of it. All right, I'm going to put the new one on. Put the new screws and nuts in there. And we're about to put it back. All right, hold on. All right, so once you assemble it back together, you make it nice and tight. You don't have to put a wrench on that nut. It actually held on pretty good with those special washers with the little spines on them. All right, so you make them nice and tight. This is what your new assembly is going to look like. And we're going to stick it back in that hole right in there after we make the little connection. All right, like I said, you can't mess up that connection. It only goes one way. Okay? All right. let's go back. All right, so once you arrange which way that connector is going to be, I put the flat part of the D facing towards the wall over here. I got the connection facing the same way. 2 fingers on the bottom holding it. My thumb is going to click it together. You're going to hear click, click. That means these 2 clips on the side grabbed it. Okay, that part you are done with. So now we're going to stick this bad boy back into the hole. What you're going to do is you're going to make sure that that connection goes in that hole, in that little gas valve. Okay, right there, that little round part. It's going to make sure that it goes in there. Okay, I'm not going to be able to do this with the flashlight and the camera at the same time, but you understand what I mean. That little hole in this pipe sits right over it. Okay, just sits over it. See if I can do it. I'm going to see if I can show it to you this way while I hold the camera at the same time. All right, it's just basically just going to, like I said, it's going to sit over that hole. Just like that. All right, once it sits in there, this hole here is going to line up, and this one over here is going to line up for your screw. All right, once that lines up, this lines up, you're good to go, and you start putting everything back together. All right. All right, so once it's together with the 2 screws mounted in the front and in the back, we know it's plugged in. We are going to test it. So we're going to set this at bake. Leave it at the 350. Let's hit start. What happens at this point now is that you're asking it to start. The igniter is going to glow. You might hear a little crackle in there from maybe the oil that's on there from you touching it and stuff. That'll burn off real quick. Once the igniter is on, it's going to turn the gas valve on. It's going to allow the gas to come through that pipe. It's going to hit that that glowing flame there, or like a glow plug, and it's going to light up. There you go. All right. Now remember, when you had that E08 code, I don't know if you notice it, but sometimes the flame will go. You hear like a little gas. Then it'll stop. Then it goes like it struggles to have gas coming in and out, because the gas stops flowing once that igniter blows out. Right? It's a safety thing. So that igniter does not stay flame like that. It will shut the valve off. Hang on a second. I'm just going to shut this off. Don't want to get it too hot. Otherwise, you can't put the panels back on. All right. So that was another thing that you can hear when the gas was going. Then it stopped. Then it stopped. And it took a long time for you to heat up, because that little glowing thing was going on, going off, going on and off. When it goes off, it shuts the gas valve off, and there's no gas. Once it glows up, then gas comes in again. That's why sometimes it'll take you 2 more hours for the oven to come up. Okay, it doesn't heat up as fast as it used to. But, all right, this is basically it, guys. This panel goes back in here. 2 screws. 2 screws on the other panel. Put all your racks back in and you're good to go. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video. But like I said, pretty simple. Some people unplug the electricity to the oven. Some people shut the circuit breaker off for the oven. But since the oven is already off already, there should be no electricity anywhere near that igniter. Okay? But I also could use that little light over there that helped me out. All right? But to each his own. But the proper way to do it would most likely be to disconnect it. But you can't even unplug the oven, because then you got to pull the oven off away from the wall. So if you know where your circuit breaker is, I recommend that you disconnect the power to it. And then you have to work with a flashlight. Unless you get one of those fancy headlights that you put on your forehead, so you can work with both hands. And I'm sure this job would be a lot easier if you were not holding a camera in your hand like I did. Right? But there it is right there. The wire is out and away from the pipe, and you are good to go. All right, so I'm gonna put my panels back on and back to cooking. Ciao. Enjoy.